Hi, and a very good morning to everyone who's joining us online today for the SOMAT Design Week. Now, I am here today in the Upik campus, the drawing studio, with Mr. Jody, my co-host.
Hello.
For a talk called KITBASHING with IBFCM. Now, this at this location, the drawing studio, it allows for a limited number of participants to join us as well, because we've got something a little special that we will also reveal later to our online viewers. But for those who are here already, they already have a preview of that. Now, kit bashing. To know more about kit bashing today, we will now invite both Mr. Fahmy as well as Hafiz from IBFCM. Welcome. Hello, guys. Good morning.
Hi. Hi. Morning.
Hi Leroy, hi Jimmy.
Hello, welcome.
Now, kit bashing is it's a very interesting art. We will put it. Not many people have endeavored into it. In fact, it's not very common in Malaysian practice. So for IBFCM, it's a bit of a mouthful. I believe it stands for Imaginary Bots
Bots,
Bot figures,
Figures
Bot Figures Creation
Creation Malaysia. It's a very
Malaysia, yeah.
interesting name, but
Malaysia, it's too wordy, yeah.
we'll get onto the name in a bit. But what exactly is kit bashing, Fahmy?
Kit bashing is actually when you try to mix and match something that not mass produced straight from the factory. So like what we did is we try to pick up some stuff from other toys or broken toys or repurposed stuff, especially like bottles and what do you call it, any other recyclable stuff, and then we bash them together to create another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be a commercial kit or recycle stuff. Anything. You can call it repurpose.
Oh, okay. So meaning to
Yeah.
say that when we talk about repurpose, it means it was not in its original form and you made it into something else, is it?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Um, now, I really intrigued because IBFCM is not a very common acronym. How did it come about?
Actually, the name, right? We came up with it last minute, last time after our first exhibition with DBKL.
Yeah,
And then a lot of visitors asked us, what is our group name? But we don't have one that time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's why we actually we build our toys based on our passion without any group or association, just individual.
yeah,
But when we displayed our item and then the crowd keep asking, "Hey, do you have any social media account like Instagram or Facebook?" And so after the event, we later at night and we decided to have our very first Facebook page, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, we even came up with our motto that time: make do of what you've got. Yeah.
Wow, make do with what you've got. Okay, interesting. Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Joey.
Maybe do you have any samples that you want to show to the audience? How does Kit Bash look like actually? Maybe you can have samples, and maybe some of the work can be shown on the camera here.
All right.
All right.
So that's some of the collections that IBFCM brought today.
Yeah.
We will definitely go down into details of some of them as well.
All right. Are we allowed to hold it while we are actually talking about the design or anything?
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Maybe, if you can be like,
yeah.
Right. So in here we can see that there's one of the artwork that's been done using kit bashing, kind of like a process. Yeah. So my question is, how do you come up with all this idea from? Like, how do you get the inspiration from to create this one?
Okay. Actually, that one is, I built that one based on actually we are inspired with Ashley Wood's World War Robot figures, and at that time, I think as you all know, toys are not very cheap nowadays. They're very expensive, and one figure from Ashley Wood it costs you like 300 plus or 400 plus back then, but I'm not sure now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's much more expensive now. So that's one of the drive for me to create something resemblance to Ashley Wood figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, like, what kind of material that you use for this
As
art
for
piece? Yeah.
this one, I'm using as for the jointing, I'm using broken or unused Lego bricks, buildable blocks parts.
Mm.
And then the main body, I'm using a sardine can, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
And then as for the head, I'm using a body spray deodorant cover.
Mm.
And the shield, I cut off, I think bottles, drinking bottles.
Mm.
As for the backpack, if I'm not mistaken, there's pizza box.
Cool. All right. I think we can see that there's a lot of like styles being developed to the design as well, right?
Yeah,
So
and
maybe
I,
we can-
and I think because of the different materials that you guys used in there, we can see a lot of different shapes, a lot of different existing textures as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm aware that when we buy toys commercially, I mean, growing up in the 80s, we get Transformer toys. They're all like these really plasticky ones, but your toys, they look very different. What is so different about it in terms of the finishing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a big boys, right? You want the toys differently. You want the expensive one, the weathered. It looks more realistic one, right? So what we did here, we tried to paint it with those kind of style, with weathered style. We use acrylic. What else? Yeah, we also fluenced by we used to play with model kit and all, right?
Yeah,
So,
Gampla.
yeah, Gampla and military kits and all, right? So we use those skills and apply it on the junk bash model here.
Oh.
In model making, they don't really go to towards the clean type. The more the gritty, the rustic, I think the value is much more higher. Yeah, because they want to look at your technicality on building the things. Oh,
Yeah, sure.
So I think this is one of the work that's actually quite amazing that you can try to see. Is the detail is pretty much very high, and then this one's been like being
You
in the
you can cabut, you can take out the hand. So jadi
which
it's a
one?
magnet. Yeah,
magnet,
it's a magnet.
connected by magnet.
All right. Oh, okay.
Magnetized.
So you can see the arms can be detached. So how do you do this actually?
It's just a magnet from Daiso. You call it neodymium magnet, right? Very strong.
Oh,
you glue it to the stuff. Yeah.
okay.
I just to try to create the what post what you call it?
Posable, yeah?
Yeah, the possible. Yeah.
Uh,
Try to make it. Yeah. Try to.
I actually I'm quite familiar with this kind of style. So I think in Japan we have
Maschinen Krieger.
Maschinen
Maschinen
Krieger,
Krieger, yeah.
kind of like toy lines, and then it's actually being founded by Koyama,
Oh, yeah, come on.
and
Yeah.
then he has sold a lot of like model kits that's been sold all around the world, and this one is pretty much you can see that's actually heavily inspired by that kind of like style.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, we have the other one, the
The real
Yeah,
Krieger.
the kid from
The
Cow.
kid.
Yeah.
so this is the
Promise.
thing that actually I've been mentioning about since actually the Maschinen Krieger. So this one actually the concept was more like a human piloting inside an armor or something like that, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, and it's almost like an Iron Man, but the design is actually more like a retro kind of like style instead of
Body
like very
armor.
high tech.
Yeah.
So you can see that there's a lot of like a more like army look, kind of like a finishing instead of the like very clean look like Iron Man and so on. So yeah, so it's like more like a war machines, right? So how do you create this actually? I can see that I try to recognize some part of the.
Yeah, actually the main body on top is mouse.
Oh, this one's mouse, eh?
Yeah, it's a mouse.
Okay.
Some
then-
gashapon, vitagen bottle.
Which one? Which part?
At the back, the funnel. Yeah, the
Oh, this
funnel.
one.
Yeah, it's a vitagen bottle. The hand is actually a Sharpie,
Oh, okay.
Sharpie pen, Sharpie marker. Yeah, yeah. I can't.
I think the challenge is actually like this. When you try to build something, it must not be recognizable which part actually is from, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can see like it's actually a phytogen. It's a bit disappointing for the makers, right? If you try to see something like that, they don't recognize that part. Actually, it's gonna be.
That's what really we would like to emphasize on design.
Mm.
So that we
You
want
see
to
things differently.
see things differently. Yeah.
But there's also a lot of experimentation, as you guys are talking
Yes.
about with the
Yeah.
magnets.
Yeah.
So does it happen like when you fit the some of the parts in, then you look at it, this doesn't look right, or is it like you fit it in and it just fits all the time?
Not really. Sometimes we have to once we have glued something and then we think it doesn't fit there, and then we have to take it out and reassemble again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it mean that when you do something, it's not being planned yet? So it's like
Yeah.
Yes.
the process.
Yeah.
Because during our class, we conducted our workshop previously, and during the workshop, we always tell the participant something like defying the law of design, which is no sketches required.
Yes.
But me myself as a graphic designer, I think there's a pro and con with sketches. If you have sketches, you can limit your time. Depends on what you are building. Let's say if you're building a 3D model, fully 3D model using 3D software, and then you need sketches. Sketches will make your processes go smoother. But as for kit bashing, we will have to play around with freestyle so that we don't stick to certain limitation of, let's say I want this shape but I don't have this shape. Then the process will take so much more time. It will take longer for us to find that particular shape. Then once we delayed our processes, and then it might takes about, sometimes depends, 1 month and then 2 months, sometimes over 1 year. You haven't completed one kit. Yeah.
Highly spirit on how to build things. But when you realize that you don't find a part that can fit into the figures, it becomes a bit like letting you down. It's like I have to find another parts for this one.
Yes.
You have to
Exactly.
wait for another few
Yeah.
months maybe for something.
Mhm.
The question is, have you done any like purposely buying something just to break it
Yeah.
off?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but normally
one.
it's a cheap one or non-toys material.
Oh, okay.
I think our favorite resources will be hardware.
Hardware.
Sometimes we went to hardware. We went to hardware, and then the owner asked, okay, what type of screw do you want? What do you want to use with this material? And then sometimes we can't even say to the owner. Then we can't simply say that, oh no, I'm not using this for this, but for the main purpose of the things have been built. That's one of the challenges lah. Yeah.
I remember this. I always have a fear of going to work to hardware shops as well, because you don't know what to tell the person.
Yeah.
And now I realize that the easier way is just describe. I want something like that, for this. And I go back all the time to that hardware shop to get stuff.
Yeah, also like I have my experience on doing this thing. Yeah, just like a bit bigger. What I did actually just I tried to find anything that can be bought from that shop, and it's almost like a shop that sells anything. So the time I bought like a deodorant because I want to use the ball joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use something like a plastic plate, something like just bought some like cheap toys, just take
Yeah.
off of the wheels, something like that. So actually, it's not supposed to be like that because we have to wait something that is
Yeah.
actually not tangible. But if actually like you're in an urge that you want to finish something, that you just go to
Yes.
the shop and buy things, you just like break it off.
So that's the short circuit method. There's a short circuit method. Huh?
If you go to hardware shop nowadays, right, you will stay longer because you will look at each item and see the
See.
potential.
Yeah.
Potential value.
Because we started to see things differently. Let's say let's say before this you see drinking bottle as a drinking bottle, but now you might see it's a space shuttle or a tower or silo or something like that.
Interesting. Now, when coming down to the details and all, I think when you guys are mentioning like the bottles, the deodorant, they seem like very large shapes
Yeah.
to form up the form. So does that mean that when it comes down to kit bashing, you start with the larger items before going into the details? Like for example, the backpacks that you have, the little switches at the back, or is it still freestyle?
It's still freestyle. Sometimes we
Yeah.
started with the head. Sometimes we started with the leg. It depends.
So like you can see here, actually it says inspired by Chappie. Yeah. So you can say it's a boxy kind of like a look. Maybe you can see a bit closely.
Yeah.
Can see. Oh, okay, like this. Yeah. So actually, some part of the I don't fully recognize the parts in here. Actually, quite new for me. Unless
As for the body part, the casing, I use pizza box, and then for the pouch and the backpack, I'm using a broken PlayStation controller. The shoulder pad, spoon,
oh yeah, I can see the
plastic
spoon there.
spoon,
All right, nice.
and the hand and the arm and the leg. I'm not really sure what actually is. I just went to hardware and then pick it up. Okay, I think they have potential for the leg and arm for my robot.
I'm pretty sure in order to build a robot, whatever that we see here, there's so many different parts, and I'm pretty sure in your workshop it's not just this parts alone. I'm pretty sure there are tons of things
Yeah.
go along with it. So what
That's
are
another
some
problem.
That's another problem.
of the exactly? And how do you actually manage between all those things to look for the small little parts? Because do you keep them organized in pockets, or I know all these are for ball joints only, or it's everywhere?
No, we just for me, right? I just stash everything in one. So whenever it comes for me to need to utilize something, right, I will go through and search for it.
Wow.
As for me, I will try to keep my work table clean, and then once I've started with one project, and then you can even see everything is scattered on top of the
Yeah.
table. Yeah, until the project finished.
I think it's one of the behavior that has been quite familiar among the kid basher. Actually, when you see something, you start to
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the potential.
Yeah.
look at this. Yeah. And then another thing, actually, you start to collect junk. You have
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
a lot of boxes of junk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's what happened with the kid basher usually.
I guess when it
Actually,
comes down to the kids' toys being broken, those are the gold resources that
Yes.
everyone keeps buying.
Yeah.
Usually we, I mean, like a kid basher, there's if we are actually married and we have family or we have kids, right? Usually the kids it's like break their own toys and they just
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
And we go to the neighbors.
That's one of our intention also. We would like to encourage people to recycling as in broken toys, broken electrical
Yeah.
parts, and bottles. Instead of throwing that away, try to make something useful out of it, and they have potential for them to sell it as an artwork.
Recycle it in a creative way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people might think this is just merely toys, but for us, it's not just a toy. It's a masterpiece and artwork. It's like a sculpture, mini sculpture, because you customize it. You only have one in the world. Yeah, only you have it. Yeah, that's a masterpiece. Yeah,
Actually, I feel like sold your piece to someone.
Hafiz,
Yeah,
Hafiz
I sold to few people actually. Um, I also sold to one guy in France. He's a collector, right? Yeah, and then he's willing to pay for the shipment as well.
How much do you sell this?
That time he bought two actually. Each is €100,
€100.
not including the shipping. Yeah, that's the
It
price
has
that he offered
potential.
to me.
Yeah.
In the future, do you think this one can be considered as a potential job for you guys?
Yeah, I think there's a potential.
Hmm.
It's like a pop art culture
Okay.
nowadays, right?
That's right.
Yeah, alternative art.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging part? I mean, like to be always consistent with the being creative and so on. What's the most challenging part actually for you? Because like sometimes you usually don't get any idea or just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we go blank and think, 1 month, 2 months without any projects, then once we have ideas and we cannot stop. That's one of the problems. Like, the other problem,
For
like what?
me, because we have a daily
Yeah,
job, right?
daily job. Yeah.
So we only can concentrate it as a hobby for now.
Oh, okay.
When we have free time, and only then we can make
Yeah.
new projects.
Yeah, it's good for you lah. Stress releasing and things, right?
Escapism.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
not talking about your IBFCM
Okay.
group. Yeah? I mean, like,
Mhm.
what's your vision in the future from this this community actually? What do you want to have? Maybe like.
Actually, the main purpose of the group when it was created, right, we try to influence the community um, to get involved in such activities, right?
Yeah.
Because to promote creative thinking within the
Yeah, promote creative
communities.
thinking,
Yeah, and
especially on the adult level, because once they get older and matured, they started to left up the creative part. Everything have to be
Yeah.
logic, and that's why during our workshop and our subject matters are mostly related towards sci-fi. So in sci-fi, there are
no limitation.
there's no limitation, there's no restriction. You can do anything you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no right or wrongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I think for one, looking at the way kit bashing actually works, it's very free flow. It allows you to take something that is broken, make it into something new, repurpose it, and I think we are all hoarders now because of that as well. But one thing that I can see in terms of the designs is, like you've mentioned, each one of them are unique. So out of curiosity, which one is your favorite, Fahmy?
Mine would be the Chappie inspired, because I'm in love with this movie. I've been watching it over and over again, and that's why I decided to create one design inspired by Chappie.
How about you, Fahmy?
Yeah.
Hafiz, sorry.
Actually, my favorite one, I sold it. It's a Fabrice bottle with leg like chicken.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
Chicken
whimsical.
Walker.
So I mean, like, I can see that some part actually being given different kind of themes. Yeah, some actually like more like a war, kind of like a camouflage kind of look like.
Yeah.
And the other one is more like bluish color. So actually, like, does it have any particular theme when you build it? Like, I want to make it
Not really.
more
No.
like
Not really. Okay.
like more of like a military kind of like look, or maybe you want to have something that's more like a public service kind of like proposal.
Post-apocalyptic.
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 Our approach more towards dystopian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
In terms of the weathering bit, and I like, because I think that's one of the key highlights in terms of the things that you guys produce as well. In terms of weathering, are there certain equipments that are needed? Maybe for someone who may not have the experience of doing kit bashing or weathering itself, are there something that you can advise some of the guys who might want to try it for the very first time?
You need a lot of experiments, of course.
Okay.
Of course, you need the colors, right?
Yeah.
We use acrylics for the effect, right? You can experiment, like chipping and all. We can use sponge.
And as for the colors, for those out there who are very familiar with model kits and customizing toys, they have paint that come with from a different brand, especially the hobby grade. But we try to encourage people, try not to spend more on things that you don't have. Try to use anything that you have, especially on colors, because we are using a normal acrylic painting. That one they be using for painting artwork, instead of using the brand like Mr. Hobby or something. So with you can have a slightly cheaper cost on the colors, and but because the pardon. Okay. Because when you want to use acrylic, it doesn't matter what brand. Acrylic is still an acrylic. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to promote that the hobby is
The
accessible to
hobby is not
everyone.
accessible, not expensive.
Yeah.
So I mean, like usually on the among the like tabletop game, they have like certain kind of like a specific paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expensive, right? Something like one
Very
bottle can
expensive.
be
Yeah.
Yeah.
above
30,
maybe like
40 ringgit?
And
above 10 ringgit,
Above
right?
10
That's
ringgit.
like small, very
10
small.
ringgit. Yeah.
So instead of using that, we can use something that is
It's just normal acrylic
DIY.
paint.
Yeah.
But
One tube
there's a
like
difference, right? Like the pigment is actually quite different, actually, isn't it? How do you solve that kind of like?
You mean different with the hobby grade one, right?
Yeah.
For acrylic, right? When I compare the art one and the hobby one,
there's nothing much different.
not much different for
Yeah.
acrylic.
Because you need to know how to use the material. Let's say as for normal acrylic paint,
Usually the
instead of
hobby one is more thin.
more thin
Thinner.
because they are pre-thin.
Okay.
So as for the paint artist acrylic,
Yes.
instead of diluting it with water, we are using something solvent like glass cleaner.
Alcohol.
So alcohol based. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, glass cleaner, normal glass cleaner. There's no if you have something like retardant or
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a hobby standard and all.
it's very expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like I also like would like to ask you how to get into the realistic kind of like what kind of like layers that you apply in there. It's like base layer, or it's like another layer. There's a like chipping. There's a grass. How do you
There's a chipping.
how do you
there's-
achieve that kind of realistic location? How do you do that?
Yeah.
The paint is not just one layer. Is it a process of a few different layers?
Yeah, we started with the base painting and all the color that we want to,
Okay.
and then only we start weathering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be chipping, sticking.
Can you explain what is chipping? What is sticking? What is
Actually, it's the effect on the that evolve naturally on the items around us, right? Like rusted.
so
Right.
you use brush for that or just use anything?
Multiple various style. You can use sponge or like a dishwashing sponge, and then paintbrush, normal paintbrush.
Oh, okay. Right, nice. Like now that you have all your own group, right, and the IBs and the FCM, right? So how many members do you have so far?
What?
Are they all from
What?
Malaysia or from outside Malaysia also?
As for actually we have in Facebook we have a group and page.
We
So
created
as
a
for
group.
the group we open internationally. There are few person from overseas. From actually one of the person that actually inspired us to do this. I stumbled this artwork in Facebook or Google, if I'm not mistaken. And then I like they did something. He do something like what he did, using kit bashing, using toys and bottles, young robot. So this chap is from USA. Uh, so we invited him to be part of the group also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So before we have before we created our own community group, we used to hang out in Latinos, kit bashing, sci-fi groups in Facebook.
So this kind of hobby actually already exists from long
Yeah.
before you start even.
Before the moment I started with this project, I searched in Facebook. There are no one in Malaysia created something like this, and most of the resources from overseas. So I think then I invited Hafiz, let's build something like this. Like that person is called Valley Robot. The page. They're one of our influencer.
I think one of the I would like to share my story actually. When I got into this kind of like hobby also, it's because that I watched a lot of like sci-fi movie before, like Star Wars, like the original trilogy and so on. They use a real props, isn't it? And
That's right.
how to get everything to looks very realistic in front of the camera. Actually, they did a lot of like paint and then, like a lot of details and kit bashing stuff. So actually, my experience when I went to Singapore, there's a exhibition Star Wars movie. Actually, they brought all the props and they brought all the miniatures. So it looks very interesting. The one that we saw on the cinema, actually all like props, and they brought it in there. And I spent like 4 hours in that exhibition space, and they like try to analyze which part actually this one is made of and so on. So apparently, it wasn't really something that's actually very difficult to build. It is you can see some part actually this one is made of bottles, this one is made of like something else. So actually, when you realize that actually, and I also study about 3D animation, right? So
Yes.
so everything can be combined together. So I get into this kind of hobby.
And I think that's interesting as well, because when we look at what Fahmy as well as Hafiz brought today, any one of these creations can be out straight from the movie itself, in terms of the detailing of the design to the interest of all the different shapes. Now, for IBFCM, I've just heard that some of the activities that you guys have run before, like workshops, have you guys actually run something like a kit bashing jam where people just come in, sit down for a couple of hours and try to make something out of it?
Yes. One of our workshop with MPCJ for the Merdeka event. During that, they stop by and but it was for kids. It's
Most
not
of
for
our
kids, but the audience most that time is only kids.
we try to target our target during our workshop. Our target audience actually for kids, but when they come with parents, and then we can see the excitement in their parents' face. So they started to join. They get excited with the project.
Okay. Um, I think that because of the activities that you guys are doing as well, I think it's affecting a wider appreciation for kit bashing as well. And I think that this opportunity that we have today to really meet up with you guys, see the works as well, it's something that I think will be inspirational to those who are able to join us here on the campus as well. Now, one of the things that I've realized is that besides the robots, there are some pieces that seem to fit within like a background as well. It's like a mini diorama that we can see. Yeah, I think let's pull some right across to the camera.
That's just a polystyrene.
Right. So this is one of them.
Right, pretty cool.
Now, when coming up with a concept for a diorama, we caught that you're inspired by the dystopian theme as well in science fiction. But how do you actually figure out the fitting of the robot to that background? What inspires you to create, like for example, this one specifically?
Actually, for that one, it's just random, you know. I did not plan for it. I see the time it was when COVID first started. The time when we cannot go to hardware at the time. So I found polystyrene at home. So I think I was thinking how can I make a base out of it for display purpose.
So I think that encompasses the spirit of kit bashing, because not limited by what we can own and go out there and get it, but I think we find and utilize whatever we can.
Make do of what you got. Like our tagline said.
And interestingly, when I first looked at it, it reminded me of the older shop lots that we can sometimes see in brick fields and all. And I was like, it really feels like it's in Malaysia right now.
Do you use any particular like more like digital tactic to build up something like in case maybe like some part actually made by 3D software or anything. Do you have anything that's related to that?
Or 3D printing
3D
technology.
technology?
Yeah, I just started to get involved with 3D printing last few months. I think.
Ah,
So how,
Yeah,
do you, how do you bring it into here actually? Like what the things that made you that maybe 3D printing is also quite possible to be involved in it.
I think when it's sorry, it's how you came, it's how you when you try to design something out of 3D, right?
mm-mm.
Um,
I mean, like, do you design the robots using 3D software by yourself or just
Or
design
parts.
all parts?
Or parts.
Oh,
Yeah.
parts.
sorry, the volume is too low, I think.
Oh, okay. What we meant was when it comes down to 3D printing, do you print the robot parts or you print a whole large form of it, like the whole arm?
Oh.
Per se? Or is it like
Alright.
small little parts that you print?
Part by part.
I haven't started to print any parts yet, but I'm on a mission actually, try to create my own figure, Mac figure, a whole figure as a whole, or as a figure in whole. But it's not finished yet.
So
Still work in
guys,
progress.
online
Yeah.
here you're listening
Yeah.
for the very first time. Hafiz is out on a mission. And definitely there'll be something that you can definitely look into the Facebook
Yeah.
IBFCM as well. So please do subscribe to the group. I think it's a bit of a private group, right? So
The
request
group is
Yeah, the group is private and the
Page is
page is
page is
public,
there.
open
Just
to
request to join in as well.
Mhm.
Okay. And I believe that there's because today it's not a workshop. I believe in the Facebook page also there are some of the work in progress that you took pictures along the
previously.
processes of how
yeah,
you
previous work. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that
Yeah.
was a really, really good piece of information for a lot of us who like the idea of kit bashing, but maybe a bit afraid to try. And I realized
Yes.
that actually it's quite accessible by
Yeah,
everyone
it's
as well.
possible. Yeah.
Possible, huh?
Yeah.
We try as best as possible to document every single step so that people can refer, from this junk we can create something masterpiece, something like that.
So I mean, like we are talking about in the current situation that everything is under pandemic and so on. Does it make you a bit held back when you do the processing like this, or is it always been the same thing? Or is it like because if it's pandemic, I don't have to go to outside, so it's like having more time to build all this. Is it like more precious time for you to do this or not? Because in my case, like usually, because I don't have to go to work, right? So I can have more time on my table and I have all the toys part with me, so I can just like build.
Yeah, but not for me because before the pandemic also I already work at home actually because I work in IT field.
Oh, IT.
Yeah.
It's not related to all this.
No, it's not related at all.
Graphic design, isn't it?
I'm a graphic designer.
It's a bit related like graphic design.
Yes,
IT
yes,
is not
I
related.
did.
IT not related at all. Right?
Actually, it tells about the fact that everyone can do something about this.
That's right.
Regardless about the background, isn't it?
Correct.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of it. What we can see today and the conversations that we're having with both Hafiz and Fahmy is the passion of wanting to create something and bringing that around as well. Now, do you have any plans in terms of the group for IBFCM on things that you want to do together with could be with the members or things that you want to do together?
Actually, during the pandemic, right, we have a plan to, I mean, to expose such activity to the community more,
Yeah.
to organize workshops, short session and all, how to expose this thing and all. Yeah, but we
Actually, we have locked one workshop for school holiday program, but
cancelled.
due to it's canceled last minute due to the pandemic.
yeah,
But I think
organized by Gallery Shah Alam.
Gallery Shah Alam, yeah. We were invited by Gallery Shah Alam back
hopefully
then.
by next year, everything can be
Yeah,
like that.
hopefully.
Hopefully, we can.
So one of the our
Yeah.
plan for next year also we start back on the workshop.
Cool, eh?
I
see.
I think we should all sign up for that. I'm pretty sure I got quite a bit of junk upstairs as well in
Yeah.
my cupboard.
And we just realized that the one actually more interested into this hobby are actually the adults,
The adults.
Yes.
Exactly right.
not the kids. But the adults.
I think it's how to say, if we want to bring about change as well, we gotta involve the younger ones. And I think being a family man myself, my kids seem to like to do the things I do. So if Fahmy as well as Hafiz are going to organize that workshop, I think I'm going to bring them all along. We're going to have a great time. I think that's where
Yes,
when they
please.
had that workshop in PJ, is it? Or was it?
Yeah.
That's where we see adults also participating. Yeah.
We're not expecting adults to be that excited about about our program or workshop, but surprisingly, that's what happened. As our first workshop with Rumah Seni Selangor, that one quite unique because we have the youngest participant and the oldest participant. And the oldest one, I think 60 plus,
60 plus.
retiree. Yeah,
Plus retiree.
yeah, retired art teacher.
Okay, all right.
I mean, like it will be quite difficult to see all the parts because it's small, right? Sometimes, to be
Yeah.
honest, like I'm almost 50 now, so when I try to see like small parts, it's quite difficult for me just to to be able to see.
One tip I can probably leave with Jody is
glass reading glass.
my favorite watchmaker. I have a watchmaker.
Oh.
He uses a pair of spectacles.
Oh,
See the
yeah.
details.
Oh, okay.
And he's well above 70 right now. So he restores some of my old watches. So I noticed that would probably be a nice place to go.
Yeah. Maybe I will go to that direction.
Okay. All right. So when we look at some of these designs that you guys have put together, all right, and we've already heard in terms of the designs or the creations that you guys have, I'll say, love making. What are some of, or maybe one that you think soon is going to come out in terms of the design that we do not know yet? What are the themes behind it? Because I think for some of us who are going to be subscribing to the Facebook group, we would love to see what is upcoming. Do you guys have any upcoming projects that you're working on right now?
For me, I have,
Mm.
but I haven't started yet. I started with the 3D version one,
Okay.
but soon I'm gonna do some bashing as well for that model. It's a gorilla style Mac.
Gorilla style Mac.
Yeah.
The band Gorillas.
Mm. The post, the way it stand, yeah. The style, yeah.
Somewhat like animalistic kind of like figure.
Yes.
It's cool.
What inspired you to start on that one? I realized
Huh?
recently Cartoon also released quite a bit of his work based on gorillas and all. And apes.
Because looks cool, right? Look tough.
Lovely.
Actually, like it's actually fun to realize that animal can be also
The
converted to
posture and
robots.
all. Yeah.
Robots. So because like animal has different kind of like a mechanism, right? Sometimes they have 4 legs,
That's right.
sometimes they can climb, sometimes they can run, sometimes they can just like slide, they can like fly.
Volume.
So actually, understanding about that mechanism actually could be interesting to be built into robots.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And it would be a bit of a bit of a difference as well with some of the collections that you brought today, I think.
Mhm.
Mm. Okay, all right. So
You still have time for design?
yeah, we still got time, definitely. I would really like to also understand in terms of some of the things that we probably see out there in terms of inspiration for you. What are some of your key inspirations? I myself, I think I still remember G1 Transformers being my favorite until today. So what are some of the pop cultures that has influenced you
Yeah.
guys in terms of your creations?
Being a child during the 80s and 90s, right? Yeah, that's a lot, man. Transformers, G.I. Joe, Mars, everything.
Many.
My head is full of sci-fi things, you know. Yeah.
Oh, Mospida. Oh,
Mospida.
Yeah, Mospida is one of the early early animation that has the
transformation.
Yeah.
Same with Macross as well.
Yeah,
That's right.
Cool.
So if I were to ask you, to force you just to pick one in terms of your inspiration, what would that be? If you're talking about Macross, Transformers, and the rest, what would be that one for Hafiz?
Inspiration.
Just that one very important piece. I'm sure Jody has tons as well. He's going to share his in a bit.
Pick one from the
I think I
80s.
can see it's in Machine and Trigger.
Yeah, of course, the Machine Krieger, right, is one of it. What else? I haven't tried to create Battleship yet, so that might be coming also.
Battleship.
I want to. I always wanted to try that before, but never got the chance yet.
Battleship is what? That's the one.
Spaceship, the Battleship, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Out of something that you already have, yeah.
You mean like you want to create the battleship?
No, I want to bash. I want to create the Battleship from KITBASHIng. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like.
How about Fahmy?
You can hear it, okay? I think his volume got problem.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, mic is mute. Okay.
Okay.
So, what about your favorite, the most favorite inspiration from your childhood?
As for robots, I think Transformers. Everybody loves Transformers, right? Apart from Transformers, I really love Tosho Daimos. It's an old school Japanese cartoon.
Daimos.
Daimos.
Oh, okay.
Tosho Daimos.
And another one is Pet Label.
Pet Label.
I think we know.
Wait, no, Pet Label, I'm familiar.
How about you? What was your favorite?
I think for me it's actually Mospedia because I was inspired by the Valkyries in Macross, but when I saw Mospedia, it was like, wow, that's even better because it's worn exactly as a suit. So the idea of the suit and the armor coming along, that really kept me inspired for quite some time. In fact, a few years back, I found a book on Mospedia, so I quickly grabbed it, which in publication these days is quite hard to find.
December toys also.
But I'm following IBFCM, which is we don't buy toys, make them. It's a lot wallet friendly as well. A lot wallet friendly, I would say.
My younger kind of like inspiration comes from always Star Wars, basically.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Because at first I wasn't really excited about the spaceship, but when I saw the ATST walking, actually I start from there, just like it really inspires me. And then from there you can see a lot of like AT-AT and also like there's a lot of robots have been involved.
That's right.
In that, so I think mine has to be more smooth. And also Japanese robots, like maybe like Voltus 5, Pet Labor also, Macross kind of thing. The same thing, like basically.
I'll be waiting for Hafiz's SDF 1 hopefully soon as well. From there, after looking at how he has done with the magnets on the hands of the robots and all, I'm pretty sure he's gonna try and attempt something a lot more challenging too.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's been a really great session having to chit chat, kit bashing with Mr. Fahmy as well as Hafiz. We are closing in to the end of our show as well. But for those of you who are here physically with us, please feel free to stay back, chit chat with our guest as well. Let me just pass on the time to Hafiz and Fahmy to see if they have any last things that they would like to share with our crowd online as well. Fahmy, any advice you would like to leave for our guest today?
The mic is
Right, the mic. Yes.
the mic you need to.
All right. Yes, the show is coming to an end right now, but was there anything that we'd like to share or say to our audience as we close today's Borak Borak?
I would like to emphasize is more on creative. Do creative stuff and explore anything you can, explore anything you want. There's no restriction in art. There's no right, but there's no wrong. Just do whatever you want to do and try to make it with minimal budget.
Mm.
Try to save more budget and create something within your budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
Make do of what you've got.
what you got and keep bash things out of recycled stuff, and so that instead of throwing throwing junk away, keep it and create something uh, create something good. It's for your skills and at the same time it can save our earth from losing it.
All right, lovely. Thank you. And what about you, Hafiz? Anything?
I think Fahmy said it all. So just to promote that to everyone that there's no limitation in arts, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Be free to express yourself. Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Jody, anything?
Yes, almost the same basically. Just be creative. Don't always like try to waste your stuffs. Basically, you have like unwanted stuff that you want to throw away. Something you can just like try to repurpose it and try to build something based on that, and then yeah, make use of it. Make the good use of it, and then publish it to the audience.
All right. Thank you very much to our guests today, Mr. Hafiz, Mr. Fahmy, as well as my co-host, Mr. Jody, on kit bashing. Now, just to update everyone as well who's online, do fill in the feedback form on the comment section. Okay, that will allow you to be issued an e-cert. Later at 2:30 p.m., we'll be having another talk show, and this time with Mr. Randolph Tan, from managing partner of Digitas, on the future of digital advertising in Malaysia. So do join us again at 2:30 for that live session here in our pit as well. And with that, we will be signing off. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.